Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests. Yunus Emre Institute London welcomes you to a selection of works of Turkish calligraphy exhibition this evening. I would now like to invite the director of Yunus Emre Institute London, Dr. Mehmet Karakuş, to deliver his speech. Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, good evening. This is a great pleasure, an honor to welcome all of you to the opening of this selection of Turkish calligraphy exhibition. It is an exciting moment for us since we have the opportunity to see these excellent masterpieces, some of which are very old, and all of them are beautifully framed, marbled, and illuminated by famous contemporary artists such as Alparslan Babaoğlu. As one calligraphy confessed that calligraphy has its very simple tools: the reed pen, suet ink, and the paper. However, it can only be learned from a master calligrapher. You need patience, determination, and of course, skills. A calligrapher normally spends at least 5 years with his master before he signs a levha independently. It seems long for us, but it is joyful time for calligraphers to spend time with their masters in many folds. Of course, main subject of the calligraphy is Quran, and it is widely accepted that this is the divine art. There are 3 secrets as quoted by Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. The first one being in the hand of a master, and the second one in making practice following the master's instruction, and the last one being in living a righteous life as a good Muslim. The weekly lessons start with a line of prayer. "O my Lord, make this easy, never make it hard. My Lord, let this end with goodness." Therefore, the art of writing is related to the faith. Dear guest, in terms of calligraphic styles, I don't go into details, not my area. Early writings of Quran were in Kufic, and I'm afraid we do not have example in our exhibition tonight. But we had samples in Love for the Prophet exhibition back in April this year, and we will have in another exhibition which will take place in November, inshallah. The rules of Aqlam Sitta, the 6 styles of writing, had already been established as early as in the 13th century by famous calligrapher Yaqut al-Mustasimi. He was a Turk born in Amasya, which is my hometown. I will not go into details, but however, I have to say that the Islamic calligraphy reached its peak at the hands of Turkish calligraphers. There is a famous saying that Quran was revealed in Arabia, beautifully recited in Egypt, and written in Istanbul. So you have the opportunity to see examples of them this evening. I would like to thank Albaraka for having such a beautiful collection and giving us the opportunity to exhibit them in London. And I would like to thank you all for your participation by accepting our invitation tonight and private view before opening to the public. Thank you very much for coming.
I would now like to invite the Turkish ambassador to the UK, His Excellency Abdurrahman Bilgiç.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to speak at the opening ceremony of the exhibition of Albaraka Turk Bank's calligraphy collection. Let me start by thanking all of you for your participation today. I would also like to extend my deepest appreciation to Mr. Hasan Altundar, Deputy Director General of Albaraka Turk, who is also among us today. In addition to its banking activities, Albaraka Turk supports traditional calligraphy as a form of social responsibility in order to sustain and develop this art form for future generations, and also to encourage those who have set their hearts on this. It's not easy for me to speak after Mr. Director because nothing left for me. He mentioned everything, made good references to Yakut Mutasimi and great Turkish calligraphers. So I will keep my speech even shorter than I have previously thought. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, for centuries, Islamic civilizations have been providing countless worthy exhibits under the different subgroups of Islamic art. Within these groups, Islamic calligraphy, namely khat, emerged as a breakthrough symbol of Islamic art in the hearts and minds. It's a great honor for me to say that for centuries, Turkish calligraphy masters produced unique pieces and contributed to the global popularity of this field. I believe that this exhibition is a golden opportunity to observe the essence and the endless creativity of the Turkish style in Islamic calligraphy. This collection also includes several unique pieces that amalgamate calligraphy and the traditional Turkish paper marbling known as ebru. You know the meaning of ebru? Ebru is, originally, What do you think?
Well, the apple is the paper which is taken from the water.
Yes, but the meaning.
The meaning, no.
It is.
I know the technique itself.
It's the Farsi word. So it means, according to some, it is the surface of the water. That's why it's called abru. But it's not right. Abru is cloud. And it is a windy cloud. So when you see an ebru design, the connotation is rather than the surface of water, it is wind. You live in a windy weather, so that's why it's called. Originally, it was they say abrobat like that. But, this is right. It's not easy. Always you can face tests and some exams. I would also like to remind that UNESCO added paper marbling to the World Intangible Cultural Heritage in 2014 by unanimous vote, and marbling became a form of Turkish art recognized by UNESCO. Therefore, I believe that in this collection you will have the opportunity to observe the balance struck by calligraphers between transmitting a text and expressing its meaning through a formal aesthetic code. Excellencies, distinguished guests, I believe that such an inspiring collection is also an enriching experience for the cultural and artistic diversity of London as a cultural hub. Before concluding my remarks, I once again would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Albaraka Turk, Yunus Emre, London, and its devoted staff, and everyone who has cordially helped in organizing this exhibition.
And finally, I would like to invite the Deputy Director of Albaraka Turk, Mr. Hasan Altundağ, to share his feelings with us. His speech will be in Turkish, and I will later read it in English.
Müsaadenizle ben Türkçe konuşacağım. Sayın ülkeçlerim, değerli hat sanatı dostları, sergimizin açılışına hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Pablo Picasso, hat sanatına olan hayranlığını şu sözlerle ifade etmiş. Batı'nın yüzyıllar boyu üzerinde durup peşinden koştuğu soyut ifadeyi, hattatlar asırlar önce bularak çağın üstüne çıkmış ve en güzel örneklerini vermişlerdir. Benim varmak istediğim son noktayı İslam yazısı çoktan bulmuş. Hat sanatı, Kur'an-ı Kerim harflerinin 6 ile 10. yüzyıllar arasında geçirdiği uzunca bir kuluçka döneminden sonra ortaya çıkmış, zaman içerisinde farklı kollara ayrılmış, gelişmiş, mükemmelleşmiş ve güzel sanatlar arasında seçkin yerini almıştır. Böylesine derin bir geçmişi bulunan bu sanatımıza sahip çıkmak Albaraka olarak bizim için ulvi bir görevdir. 30 yıl aşkın bir süredir faizsiz bankacılık konusunda faaliyet gösteren Albaraka Türk, tarihi ve kültürel zenginliklerimizi bugünlere taşımanın her kurum ve kişinin yaşadığı topluma karşı bir sorumluluğu olduğu bilinci içerisindedir. Albaraka olarak hat sanatına olan ilgimiz, köklü medeniyetimizin önemli bir mirasına sahip olma bilinci yanında, ekonomik amaçlı kuruluşların sosyal sorumluluklara sahip olması gerektiği inancımızdan da kaynaklanmaktadır. Albaraka olarak amacımız, hat sanatının sabırlı, fedakar ve gönüllü emektarlarını desteklemek, bu güzide sanata nice eserlerin katılabilmesi için yeni hattatlar kazanmak ve sanatçıların kaleminden taşan kutsi metinlerin gelecek nesillere ulaştırılmasını sağlamaktır. Albaraka Uluslararası Hat Yarışması, 400'den fazla eserin yer aldığı Albaraka Hat Koleksiyonu, İstanbul'da bulunan Albaraka Sanat Akademisi ve Galerisi, hat sanatını desteklemek için yürüttüğümüz faaliyetler arasında sadece birkaçıdır. Bankamız tarafından hat sanatını yaşatmak, geliştirmek, destek olmak ve geleceğe aktarmak amacıyla uluslararası düzeyde hat yarışmaları düzenlenmektedir. 2005 yılında başlanan yarışma 3 yılda bir tekrarlanmakta. 2008, 2011 ve 2014 yıllarının ardından bu yıl 5. kez düzenlenmektedir. 2014 yılında yarışmamıza 25 ülkeden 224 sanatçı katılmıştır. Bu sanatçıların bazıları gayrimüslim. Bu yılki konumuz dua olup, yarışmaya başvuru kabullerimiz 2018 yılı Mart ayına kadar devam edecektir. Dünyanın dört bir yanında açtığımız hat sergileri ile hat sanatının gelişmesi ve tanıtılmasına katkı sağlamayı hedefliyoruz. Bugüne kadar hat eserlerinden oluşan koleksiyonumuza ait eserleri Amerika Birleşik Devletleri, Küba, Macaristan, Polonya, Almanya ve Avusturya gibi dünyanın farklı noktalarında sergiledik. Bazı ülkelerde birden fazla şehirde sergileme imkanı bulduk. Şimdi ise sergimizi Londra'da açmanın mutluluğu içerisindeyiz. Sergimizde 40 adet eserimiz bulunmakta olup 13 Ekim 2017 tarihine kadar sergimiz gezilebilecektir. Sergimize ev sahipliği yapmakta olan Yunus Emre Enstitüsü Londra dostlarımıza özel olarak teşekkür ediyor. Hepinize tekrar hoş geldiniz diyorum.
Dear calligraphy lovers, I would like to welcome all of you. Calligraphy emerged following an incubation period of the Quran's letter between the 6th and the 10th centuries, and then it was divided into different branches, evolved and took its current predominant place in fine arts. Being as an interest-free bank for more than 30 years, Albaraka Turk believes that cultural and historical values should be promoted and protected. And because of that, we have a strong interest in calligraphy. As Albaraka Turk, our aim is to make calligraphy survive throughout the next generations by supporting current calligraphers. Albaraka Turk has a calligraphy collection with more than 400 pieces, and also establishing Istanbul Albaraka Art Academy and Gallery are among our activities. Also, we organize international calligraphy competition in every 3 years. 224 calligraphers participated in our 2014 competition. Additionally, we have organized a number of calligraphy exhibitions in many countries, including the USA, Cuba, Germany and Austria, and now here in London. We are so happy for organising this exhibition in London, and I would like to thank our friends in London Yunus Emre Institute, and again would like to welcome all of you. I would now like to invite Dr. Ahmet Aldubayan, the General Director of Islamic Cultural Center, to share his feelings with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank you so much, actually, to invite me today to attend with this marvelous collection and this very beautiful calligraphy. Of course, when we talk about calligraphy or Arabic calligraphy, no one can miss the place and the status of Turkey in this. Calligraphy, actually, what we see here is a long, long journey through more than maybe 12 centuries, actually, in the history of Islamic civilization, which is developed from century to another. Then it reached its peak, actually, in Turkey. We remember always, of course, from the 9th century, Alhamdulillah al-Amasi, Mustafa Dada, after Yaqut Mustasimi. Then we move also one century ahead, then we come to Hafiz Osman, then we come to Mustafa Raqim, we come to Mustafa Jalal al-Din. We come then recently till Aziz al-Rifa'i, the one who actually made a movement of calligraphy in Egypt and in Syria also, till the new century, the last century, when the Arab calligraphers started. They took really the Turkish calligrapher as the model, and they are still the model. After all these years, still the Turkish pieces of the Turkish masters of Arabic calligraphy, they are till today the model of Arabic calligraphy. Nobody can beat them. Until today, the best of the calligrapher everywhere in the world is seeking and try to imitating, really seeking for these pieces and imitating the works of Ahmed Kamil, Aziz al-Rifa'i, and others also recently till Hamid al-Amidi, who died, I think, in 1973. Rahimahumullah jami'an. May Allah bless their souls, all of them. These techniques actually are techniques not only one man, but the techniques of centuries, starting from the paper itself. His Excellency the Ambassador mentioned something about the Afro paper or the marble paper. Also, when we talk about the ink, there is also a lot of secrets and techniques about the ink itself. There are also a lot of secrets about the pens themselves, how they are cut, how they are used, and all these old techniques. In many areas and many capital cities in the Muslim world, they are mostly lost, but they are luckily kept in Istanbul by the Turkish calligrapher. And from there, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted this also, that is again, the trigger come from Istanbul again in the last century when some international competition of calligraphy started from Istanbul by Asika, I remember, and others. And in that time in Istanbul, they try always to let people to remember those great masters. They started, I think, one competition with the name of Mustafa Raqim, another one is about Hafiz Osman and others. May Allah bless their souls. It is really the peak. Now, as His Excellency said, that is the Quran was written in Turkey or in Istanbul. It is true, till today, the master works of the Turkish calligrapher are the best today, especially when we talk about Nasr, and we talk about Thuluth, and we talk about Diwani or Jali Diwani or Diwani Jali. These are really the great masters. Even today, most of the calligraphers, they are writing about in 7 ways or 7 khat, and 3 of them actually invented from the beginning in Turkey, and others may be developed from Baghdad to Cairo to Damascus, and recently in Istanbul, till they reach the peak of the calligraphy. Until today, actually, they are really the piece of the masters, which we all, when we see them, we love them. Let me remind you of one very important and famous piece of these masters, maybe some of us do not know. When you go to Medina, to the Mosque of Medina, and you see that great wall actually there, that the direction of Mecca, the direction of Qibla, that wall was written by the Khattab Abdullah Beg Zurdi, who was sent from Istanbul to stay in Medina for 3 years to write the whole wall from the door, actually north till the door south. It's really a masterpiece. Anybody who goes there and who understands a little bit about Islamic art, he will stand there hours just watching the wall. And I remember some of us who understand that when we stand there after we finish our prayers and we say salam to the Prophet ﷺ, then we actually stood there long time. And I remember one of my colleagues said to me, "What are you doing? You're just watching the wall and watching the sea." But he doesn't know. But it's really an amazing piece. It's unbelievable how this man, really this great master, did this and wrote the names of the Prophet ﷺ all the wall, and he wrote some verses of the Quran in different size, and some of them actually he built them. not only writing with a pen, and he never miss the rules of the calligraphy itself. This is just an example that is we all, with a full appreciation, we remember them. We pray for actually their souls to stay in rest. May Allah bless them for this. I have to also remember everybody that is all what we see is a kind of art which goes around in a circle. The center of the circle is the Quran itself. That's why you see the calligrapher, they always quote verses on the Quran. Sometimes they take some hadiths or some sayings by companions or by some wise people or some poems, but mostly they write only Qurans actually, because they always trying to go very high with calligraphy to the same level of the Quran style in Arabic language itself. Because we know in Arabic, when it comes to Arabic, the highest text in Arabic is the Quran. So they try through calligraphy to express how the text itself is high, so we express it through calligraphy. And I think they did. They really reach a level which is really very, very, very high. It's not easy to reach. Again, I have to say thank you so much for inviting me to this marvelous center, really. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this, for giving people here in London this chance actually to see and to have this window to our culture, to our civilization, to our art, how we actually develop this and how the level that we reach. And I'm sure in London, there are many lovers of Arabic calligraphy, of the calligraphy. Even if they don't read it, they cannot read it, and they cannot really understand sometimes, but they love the art itself, they love the techniques. Again, thank you very much, and thank you all the organizers, thank you to the center for this invitation.